Alex sat at the edge of his small bunk, staring at the blinking console lights. The orbital research station was quiet, almost too quiet, and the hum of the machinery was the only companion he had. Weeks alone in the isolated sector of the station had made him familiar with every sound, every flicker of light, and every creak of the metal hull. He had grown comfortable in the silence, comfortable in the routines he had established to keep both the station and himself sane. He could eat, sleep, and work without disturbance, which suited him perfectly. Or at least he thought it did. He had just finished calibrating the last of the communication arrays when the airlock hissed unexpectedly. That was strange. Only authorized personnel could unlock it from inside, and no one was scheduled to visit for weeks. Alex frowned, rising cautiously to investigate. He checked the monitor near the airlock. The feed showed a clean corridor leading to the outer docking bay. No one. He was about to dismiss it as a glitch when the door slowly creaked open. At first, all he saw was a shadow, then a figure stepped into the frame. A tall, imposing woman moved confidently into the room, her presence immediately demanding attention. She wore sleek armor that shimmered with an unearthly light, and her eyes, a strange mix of gold and green, scanned the quarters with a sharp, calculated focus. Her hair, dark and flowing, framed a face that was both striking and alien in its features. Alex froze. Hello." His voice sounded small, almost nervous, even to his own ears. The woman didn't answer. She moved as if she owned the space, stepping over his personal belongings, examining the small assortment of tools and gadgets he had arranged meticulously on the workbench. Alex noticed how her gaze lingered on the drones he had been repairing, then on the schematics taped to the wall. Her expression was unreadable, but he could feel the weight of it, the quiet judgment behind her alien eyes. He swallowed and stepped forward, trying to assert some authority, though he knew it would be futile. "IUH can help you with something," she finally spoke, her voice calm, deep, and commanding. "I am here to observe." Alex blinked. "Observe? Observe what?" Her lips curved into the faintest hint of a smile. "Human ingenuity. I have been sent to assess it." The words made Alex pause. Assess human ingenuity. He had heard rumors about the alien coalition, a species that valued strength, strategy, and advanced technology. He had also heard that they underestimated humans completely. Apparently, someone wanted to see if he could prove them wrong. He swallowed again, forcing himself to appear confident. "Well, you've come to the right place. I can show you how we keep this station running." She nodded, almost imperceptibly, and moved closer to the console. Her hands, armored but graceful, brushed over the control panels, examining them as though trying to understand their function at a glance. Alex noticed how she tilted her head slightly, a gesture that was unmistakably curious, though her overall demeanor remained intimidating. For the next hour, Alex found himself explaining the basics of the station's systems. He demonstrated how the drones were programmed for repairs, how the power arrays were calibrated, and how he had devised redundancies in case of malfunctions. Kayla, as he learned her name was, watched without interruption, occasionally asking pointed questions that revealed her sharp mind and her ability to grasp complex concepts quickly. Alex couldn't help but feel a mix of awe and intimidation. She moved through the room as if it belonged to her, yet she didn't damage anything, didn't take anything without permission. Every motion was calculated, precise, and utterly confident. He had seen leaders, commanders, and scientists, but none had carried themselves with this combination of authority and curiosity. After demonstrating the basic systems, Kayla finally turned to him fully. "You have managed well for a single human. I expected less." Alex laughed nervously. "Thanks, I guess. I've been alone for a while, so I've had time to figure things out." Her gaze softened just slightly and she leaned against the workbench. "Alone, that is not an advantage. It forces adaptation." "Yes," Alex replied, "but it also teaches patience. and resourcefulness. He realized he was speaking not just for himself but also for the species she had come to judge. Humans are good at thinking under pressure, finding solutions with limited resources. Kayla studied him for a long moment. Then, unexpectedly, she smiled, a genuine, small, and almost human-like smile. "Perhaps I underestimated your kind. Perhaps there is more to observe than I thought." Alex felt a strange sense of pride. He had not even expected her to smile, let alone to admit that humans might possess qualities worth noticing. Yet, there was still tension in the air. He could tell she was not fully convinced, not fully trusting. Her species valued efficiency and results above all else, and they had the power to enforce judgment if they were displeased. The sound of a distant alarm interrupted the moment. The station's sensors detected an unidentified object approaching. Alex rushed to the console to analyze the reading. It wasn't immediately threatening, but it was unusual. Something moving at high speed, no known signature, not scheduled on any galactic charts he had access to. Kayla moved beside him without asking, her presence commanding yet calm. "Show me." He explained the readings and traced the object's trajectory. "It's coming from the outer sector. Could be a rogue drone or a probe. It's not matching any known fleet signatures." She studied the data silently, then nodded. "It is testing the station. Perhaps a challenge meant for both of us." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Both of us?" "Yes," she said simply. "Your species has cleverness. You will act. I will observe. The outcome will decide my assessment." The word struck him. This wasn't just a visit. This was a test, and failure was not an option. Over the next few hours, Alex and Kayla prepared the station for the approaching object. He showed her how to interface with the drones, how to reroute power through backup systems, and how to manipulate the station's automated defenses. Kayla followed his instructions carefully, occasionally suggesting improvements that only her alien technology could provide. Despite the tension, there was a growing sense of teamwork. When the object finally appeared on the sensors, a sleek metallic probe glinting in the distant light, Alex held his breath. It moved faster than expected, scanning, probing, analyzing. He deployed the drones, using the strategy he had practiced for weeks. Kayla watched, silent but attentive, as the drones intercepted the probe, confusing its sensors and forcing it to retreat. She turned to him, her expression unreadable for a moment. Then she nodded slowly. "Your ingenuity is commendable. You acted quickly and effectively. You are not as fragile as I assumed." Alex exhaled in relief, a smile creeping onto his face. "Thanks. I guess humans aren't so bad after all." Kayla's smile returned, small but genuine. "Perhaps there is hope for your species. Perhaps cooperation will yield results unexpected by my counsel." The rest of the evening passed with a quieter energy. The threat had passed for now, but Alex knew it was only the beginning. Kayla remained in his quarters, examining tools, reading schematics, and occasionally asking questions about human life, customs, and survival strategies. He found himself explaining more than just technology. He explained humor, improvisation, and problem-solving under pressure. She listened intently, sometimes nodding, sometimes frowning in concentration. By the time he finally settled back into his bunk, exhaustion heavy in his limbs, Alex realized something profound. He was not just surviving her scrutiny. He was engaging with it, teaching her, proving that humanity had worth beyond what even the most advanced alien species might expect. Kayla, standing near the window and staring out at the stars, spoke softly. "I did not expect to find this here, on a human station. You have strength and you have ingenuity. Perhaps this is the beginning of something larger than either of us." Alex smiled, a little tired, a little nervous, but full of a sense of possibility. "Maybe it is, but for now, welcome to my room. You've officially walked in like you own it." Kayla's smile widened slightly, almost amused, and she stepped further into the room. "Perhaps I do." And with that, the boundaries of human and alien, guest and visitor, began to blur, setting the stage for a partnership that would challenge both species. Assumptions about strength, intelligence, and the value of unexpected alliances. The station hummed quietly as Alex moved through the corridors, checking systems and monitoring external sensors. The events of the previous day replayed in his mind. Kayla's sudden arrival, her imposing presence, and the way she had assessed both him and the station with an almost clinical precision. Despite her intimidating aura, he felt a strange curiosity and even admiration. She was unlike any being he had ever met, and yet somehow there was a spark of understanding between them, fragile but undeniable. Kayla followed closely, her armor clinking softly with each step. She observed the station silently, her eyes scanning displays, consoles, and tools with an intensity that made Alex feel both exposed and challenged. She didn't speak much, but her presence carried authority, and he knew she was always evaluating. "Are you sure the outer sectors are secure?" Kayla asked finally, her voice calm but commanding. "Yes," Alex replied. "I've run diagnostics on the automated defenses and the drones are positioned for quick interception, but there's still an unknown variable. Something like the probe we saw yesterday could come again, faster and smarter this time." She nodded, processing his words. "Then we must anticipate it, prepare for contingencies. Humans are clever, but you are limited. I can augment your systems." Alex hesitated. "You'd help me. I observe, I adapt. Cooperation is sometimes efficient," she said, moving toward the main control console. Her fingers brushed over the interface, integrating alien algorithms with his human systems. "Together, we are stronger than either alone." Alex watched, fascinated. The alien technology she brought was unlike anything he had seen. It was elegant, precise, and efficient. Yet, integrating it with human systems required improvisation and careful judgment. He felt both challenged and excited. This was unlike anything he had ever done in his career, a true test of human ingenuity against, and alongside, advanced alien design. Hours passed as they worked together, configuring defenses, running simulations, and monitoring the sectors for any anomalies. At times, Alex felt frustrated. Kayla moved quickly, decisively, and often in ways he didn't immediately understand. Yet, every time he questioned her, she explained, briefly, clearly, and without condescension. He began to see the logic behind her approach, the way her species balanced precision with adaptability. "You're not bad at this," Kayla said after a long pause, her voice neutral but with a hint of approval. Alex chuckled. "Thanks, I've had practice. And you're not as scary when you're not trying to intimidate me." Kayla's eyes glimmered faintly, almost like amusement. Intimidation is unnecessary when observation is sufficient, but humans often interpret silence as weakness. Their work was interrupted by a sudden alarm. The sensors detected multiple fast-moving objects approaching from the outer sector. Alex rushed to the console, tracing their trajectories. "It's a fleet," he said, his voice tight. "Unregistered, no communication, no signatures we can identify." Kayla's expression remained calm. "Hostile or curious, we will respond the same. You will act, I will observe, and I will guide. We will survive." Alex nodded, adrenaline surging. He quickly deployed drones and rerouted power through backup arrays, preparing for both defensive and offensive maneuvers. Kayla assisted, her alien technology enhancing the station's shields and weapon systems. Their coordination was precise but not perfect. There were moments of tension when commands overlapped or systems conflicted. Each time, Alex had to think quickly, adjusting, improvising, and testing solutions. As the fleet came into view, Alex felt a mix of fear and excitement. These were not mere probes. They were small attack vessels, sleek and heavily armed. Kayla studied the readings, her eyes scanning patterns and calculating probabilities faster than Alex could process. "You must trust your instincts," she said, noticing his hesitation. Human ingenuity is unpredictable but effective. Use it. Alex took a deep breath. He devised a plan, unconventional but logical. He would lure the lead vessel into a trap using the station's drones while he and Kayla manipulated energy fields to create interference. It was risky, relying on timing and coordination between human intuition and alien technology. The plan was set in motion. Drones swarmed the approaching fleet, creating false targets and sending confusing signals. Alex manipulated the station's energy outputs, generating controlled electromagnetic pulses that disrupted the enemy vessel's sensors. Kayla guided him, her instructions precise and minimal, allowing him to make the critical human decisions. The battle was tense. The drones performed brilliantly, dodging attacks and drawing the lead vessel closer to the trap. Alex adjusted power levels, diverted energy to critical shields, and monitored the fleet's reactions. Kayla's enhancements amplified the station's response, reinforcing barriers and countermeasures. Finally, the lead vessel triggered the interference field. Its systems overloaded momentarily, giving the drones a chance to disable its engines. The other vessels, seeing their leader incapacitated, hesitated and retreated. Alex and Kayla exhaled, relief washing over them, but the tension did not fully dissipate. They knew this was only a minor victory, a test, perhaps, or a warning. Kayla turned to Alex. "You adapted under pressure. You improvised. You saved this station with limited resources. I expected less." Alex smiled, exhausted but proud. "Thanks. I guess humans aren't completely useless in the galaxy." Her smile was faint, almost imperceptible, but it was there. "You are clever, Alex. Your species has traits my council often overlooks. You think creatively, act decisively, and survive where others might fail." The rest of the day passed with quieter activity. Alex repaired minor damage to the drones and systems, while Kayla continued her observation, occasionally asking questions about human problem-solving, humor, and improvisation. He explained how humans often thrived under constraint, turning limitations into advantages. She listened, fascinated by a perspective so different from her own species, reliance on sheer power and advanced technology. As night fell, or what passed for night aboard the orbital station, Alex sat near the observation window, looking out at the stars. Kayla stood beside him, silent, yet her presence was comforting in an unexpected way. He realized that despite her alien nature, despite her initial intimidation, she had begun to respect him, not just as an engineer, but as a representative of humanity's potential. "I didn't expect to find this here," Kayla said softly, her gaze on the stars. "A human station managed by one human resisting threats alone. You are remarkable." Alex shrugged, feeling both proud and modest. "I just do what I can. It's what humans do. We adapt, we survive, we find a way." Kayla turned to him, her eyes meeting his. "Perhaps this is why your species should not be underestimated. You are unpredictable, and that can be a strength." Alex felt a spark of something, a bond, a mutual understanding, a respect that transcended species and expectation. For the first time since her arrival, Kayla seemed almost human in her curiosity and quiet admiration. "Looks like we make a good team," Alex said, breaking the silence. "Human ingenuity plus alien tech. Who would have thought?" Kayla considered the statement, then nodded. "Efficiency is maximized when cooperation is mutual. This partnership has potential." As they prepared for rest, Alex realized that the arrival of Kayla had changed everything. The station was no longer just a lonely outpost in the void. It had become a testing ground, a place where human skill and alien power could combine. The future was uncertain, but for the first time Alex felt ready to face it, not alone, but with an unexpected ally. Outside, the stars stretched infinitely, silent witnesses to the new bond forming between human and alien, observer and engineer, stranger and partner. The challenges ahead were unknown, the threats uncounted, But for the first time, Alex did not feel powerless. With Kayla by his side, humanity had a chance, not just to survive but to prove its worth among the stars. And Kayla, for her part, stood silently at the observation deck, thinking that perhaps she had underestimated humanity all along. This single human, with his cleverness, courage, and resourcefulness, had earned her respect. More importantly, he had shown her that sometimes the greatest strength came not from advanced technology or brute force, but from ingenuity, adaptability, and the unpredictable heart of a human being. The station had settled into an uneasy calm. For days, Alex and Kayla had worked side by side, repairing systems, monitoring sectors, and training the drones for any potential threat. The unexpected fleet had retreated, but Alex knew it was only a temporary victory. Space was unpredictable, and the galaxy was full of forces far stronger and faster than a single human outpost. Kayla stood near the observation window, her gaze fixed on the distant stars. The lights from far-off ships shimmered faintly in the darkness. Alex approached cautiously, aware of the silent intensity she carried. "Do you ever get tired of all this watching?" he asked. Kayla's eyes flicked to him. "Observation is necessary. Understanding is necessary. Fatigue is irrelevant if it compromises survival." Alex smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. He understood the logic. Still, he felt that humans needed more than logic to survive. They needed trust, teamwork, and ingenuity. Maybe humans do more than survive with logic. Sometimes we survive because we improvise, because we take risks that don't make sense until they work. Kayla tilted her head, considering him. "Your species thrives on unpredictability. It is inefficient but effective. I am beginning to see why." Their discussion was interrupted by the alarm blaring across the station. Alex jumped to the console. The sensors detected multiple objects approaching, faster, larger, and more coordinated than before. The fleet was back, this time clearly intending to strike. "They're attacking," Alex said, his heart pounding. Kayla moved swiftly, her armor glinting under the station lights. "Then we will act. You know your systems, I know the technology. Together we can withstand this." Alex nodded, adrenaline sharpening his focus. He quickly began issuing commands to the drones, rerouting energy to the defensive shields, and preparing automated countermeasures. Kayla interfaced with the station, enhancing the energy distribution, boosting shield resilience, and recalibrating weapon systems with an efficiency Alex had never imagined. As the enemy fleet approached, Alex devised a risky strategy. He would use the station's drones as decoys, drawing the lead ships into a narrow corridor between the station and a nearby asteroid field. Once trapped, the station's energy fields, enhanced by Kayla's alien tech, would disrupt their systems, leaving them vulnerable. Kayla observed silently for a moment. Then she said, "It is unconventional, high risk, but your species' unpredictability can be an advantage. Proceed." The drones moved swiftly, swarming the incoming ships. Alex watched the lead vessel as it followed the decoys, unaware of the trap forming around it. Kayla guided him through adjustments to the energy fields, and together they created a precise interference pattern. The fleet's sensors began to falter, their ships' engines stuttering under the unexpected assault. One vessel broke free from the pattern, heading directly toward the station. Alex's hands shook slightly as he calculated a countermeasure. "I can redirect the energy pulse to intercept it, but it will draw a lot of power and leave the shields weaker elsewhere." Kayla's eyes narrowed. "Then your decision will determine survival. Trust yourself. I will support." Alex took a deep breath and initiated the pulse. The ship was hit squarely, its engines overloaded, and it spun away harmlessly into the void. Other vessels hesitated, confused by the interference and the rapid countermeasures. The station's shields, though weakened, held firm. Minutes stretched into hours. Alex and Kayla coordinated every move, every adjustment, every drone deployment. They moved in a rhythm that was neither fully human nor fully alien, a perfect combination of instinct, ingenuity, and precision. Slowly, the enemy fleet began to retreat, unable to adapt to the unpredictable human-alien strategy. When the last ship disappeared from the sensors, Alex sank into a chair, exhaustion pulling at him. Kayla stood beside him, observing the aftermath. You acted decisively. You adapted under pressure. You proved the value of human unpredictability in a way my council would not anticipate. Alex wiped sweat from his brow and smiled weakly. I guess humans aren't just clever, they're stubborn too. Kayla's lips curved in a faint smile. Stubbornness can be effective. I have learned much from you. As the station settled into quiet once more, Alex and Kayla moved through the systems, repairing minor damage and recalibrating the drones. For the first time, the tension between them felt less rigid. There was respect now, mutual understanding forged through survival and shared effort. Over the next few days, Alex showed Kayla more of the human side of life aboard the station. He shared stories of previous missions, how humans had survived impossible odds, and how resourcefulness often mattered more than power. Kayla listened, sometimes asking questions, sometimes just observing. One evening, as they stood together near the observation window, Alex gestured toward a distant nebula. You know, most humans would never get a chance to see something like that. Out here, in the middle of nowhere, it feels different, important. Kayla's eyes followed his gesture. It is beautiful. Perhaps humans find strength not only in ingenuity but in their appreciation of life itself. It is curious. Alex smiled. Yeah, we fight, we survive, we adapt. But we also notice things, remember things, care about more than just survival. Kayla nodded thoughtfully. Perhaps that is why you are different from what my council expected. You are not simply a tool of survival. You are a living, thinking, unpredictable being. That cannot be underestimated. The weeks passed, and Alex and Kayla continued to work together. Minor threats appeared from time to time, asteroid collisions, rogue drones, sensor anomalies, but nothing as serious as the fleet attack. Each challenge strengthened their coordination and mutual respect. Alex taught Kayla human improvisation, while she shared advanced alien techniques that allowed him to enhance the station's defenses beyond anything he could achieve alone. One night, Alex was repairing a drone when Kayla approached quietly. She didn't need to announce herself. He had grown accustomed to her silent presence. You have taught me much about your species, she said softly. I expected arrogance, weakness, unpredictability. Instead, I see courage, creativity, and the capacity to thrive under pressure. Alex paused, looking at her. I think humans have always been underestimated. Maybe it's our unpredictability that makes us strong. Kayla studied him, her gaze sharp and piercing. Perhaps. But you have also taught me something I did not expect. Cooperation with humans is not burdensome. It is valuable. Perhaps your species has potential that even my council cannot ignore. Alex smiled, feeling a sense of pride he hadn't felt in years. Then I guess we make a good team. Kayla tilted her head slightly, the faintest hint of amusement in her eyes. Indeed, efficiency is maximized when mutual understanding exists. Your species has heart. It is a trait I admire. For the first time, Alex saw something more human in her eyes. Not just the alien precision, but curiosity, respect, and a kind of admiration. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, but it was there. He realized that this bond, forged through trials and ingenuity, had grown into a partnership neither of them had anticipated. The station's systems were stable, the fleet had retreated, and the immediate danger had passed. But Alex knew that the galaxy was vast, full of threats and unknown forces. Yet, for the first time, he did not feel alone or powerless. With Kayla at his side, humanity's potential felt real, tangible, and unstoppable. Kayla moved to sit in one of the chairs near the console, looking at the stars. I will remain for now, she said quietly. Not as a visitor, not merely as an observer, but as a partner. You have proven the value of humanity in ways my council did not anticipate. We have work to do together. Alex chuckled softly, exhaustion and relief mingling in his voice. I never thought I'd say this, but welcome to my room. You walked in like you owned it, and now it feels like you belong. Kayla's smile was faint but genuine. Perhaps I do. And perhaps humanity is more than what was expected. Together, we can face whatever the galaxy throws at us. Outside the window, the stars stretched endlessly, indifferent yet beautiful, silent witnesses to the bond forming between human and alien. Alex and Kayla had survived the fleet, adapted under pressure, and discovered the value of cooperation across species. They had proven that human ingenuity, courage, and unpredictability could stand alongside the most advanced alien technology, and that even in the vast emptiness of space, trust and partnership could form where none was expected. The station was no longer just a lonely outpost in the void. It had become a symbol of what humans could achieve: resourcefulness, intelligence, and perseverance in the face of overwhelming odds. And with Kayla by his side, Alex knew that humanity had not only survived but had earned its place among the stars. As the lights of distant ships faded into the darkness and the hum of the station filled the quiet, Alex allowed himself a rare moment of reflection. They had faced danger, adapted, and succeeded. But more than that, they had discovered mutual respect and the potential for something greater. The galaxy was vast, unpredictable, and full of challenges. But for the first time, Alex felt confident that humans could not only survive it but thrive. And Kayla, standing silently beside him, thought the same. This single human had shown her that the greatest strength was not power, nor technology, but ingenuity, courage, and the unpredictable heart of a human being. Together, they would face whatever came next, and perhaps together, they would change the galaxy's perception of humanity forever.